Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Echoes of Honor. Perhaps the last episode. When last we left our heroes, there was an ear to PK because Tapo, the Castellan Cavalier, guess you should have got that horse, eh, Clinton? I mean, it would have been higher. No, never mind. A Ulfin Skald that we've hinted might be tied to Leon, played by Jay's Fly Samurai character in the past, though they have not crossed paths here in either podcast. Scoriso, the illusionist, barely alive, battered and barricaded himself outside the tomb with several days of rest in him, may or may not have dragged himself half-health to the horses, stole their water, and rode off. But the scene that unfolds now comes down high above Taldor and heads north towards Mount Antios, down to the family tombs coveted and built long ago by Taldorian nobility. One such tomb devoted Haronia Alcasti, the door open, foreboding darkness inside. However, no horses are tied up outside as the scene comes in, panning from room to room towards a hallway where a still, ominous scritching and thumping noise can be heard through the door. Underneath the door, a flash of jade-colored light and a hard scrabble away from the door. The slicing of ultra-sharp folded steel, and then silence. Once again, the scene pans directly through the door, where four black-clad figures, carrying weapons forged in Tenzia, quietly survey the room. One standing over a stone-severed hand, where two men have fallen in battle, and an exploded contraption clockwork canine. On the east wall behind them, a large 10-foot diameter jade green colored ring of fire slowly crackles and rotates, showing a portal to a far land. Two more men clad in black push through a robed figure whose head is hooded by black cloth, a captive perhaps. And then the old decrepit wizard Kazukan steps through. The only light source in the room, the eerie green portal itself, shining softly. Now then, unmask him. The two shinobi ninja roughly hold their prisoner upright and whip the hood off. Not a man, but a humanoid with a giant black feathered head of a crow. Blinking to adjust his sight to the eerie green light, and looking around puzzled, the figure speaks.
Where have you taken me?
You stand near Mount Antos in Taldor, and you're here to serve our lord. Or would you rather be returned to Minkai and your certain demise at the hands of the Black Lotus clan?
You know me. I'm always pleased to serve your lord and mine for a price.
Kazukan snaps his fingers, and one of the shinobi brings forth a pouch, pulling its strings and revealing the contents of several shiny rubies, sapphires, emeralds. The Tengu eyes widen. We have an accord, then?
This will do for now.
Kazukan snorts derisively. Why my lord puts up with your insipid demeanor, I know not. However, pointing at the closest body that lays on the floor, this one, I seek the information we spoke of earlier.
Very well, I can do this for you.
Shuffling forward on large clawed crow's feet underneath his robes, the Tengu, poised over the young man's body, cocks his head.
Definitely not Gelfling. Elfin, then?
Kazukan snaps in. Get on with it, man!
Yes, I'm doing it. I just need to retrieve a few items out of my satchel here. This will do quite nicely.
The old Tengu, retrieving several mundane items and components from his satchel, black wax candles, interesting-looking foreign coins with square holes poked out of the center, all on a red string of yarn, laying the string of coins directly across the man's heart and placing 5 candles around the body, but not lighting any of them. The old Tengu begins to chant, casting divine magic.
Oh, it is. And the jewels go in, and the shiny comes up, and then we take the little pokies out, and we pull the spirits through, and we pull them not so near, and we eat their little souls, and we dance a little song. Oh, my look.
That's awesome. That's all. He's just adding a verbal component's not necessary, right? Hopping bird-like around the body, if not for the immediately pale blue glow behind the Tengu's eyes and on his hands as he circles the young man's corpse and then finally takes a clawed hand either side of the man's head and tilts its back, pressing his fingers and thumbs into the mouth and opening it and spitting directly down into the Ulfin's throat. Aiden, can I have a will save, please?
I feel like I need a fortitude save after that.
It's a finishing touch.
All right. A will save of 10.
Oh, all right. Everybody knows how Speak with Dead works.
You grant the semblance of life to a corpse, allowing it to answer questions. You may ask 1 question per 2 caster levels. The corpse's knowledge is limited to what it knew during life, including the languages it spoke. Answers are brief, cryptic, or repetitive, especially if the creature would have opposed you in life. If the dead creature's alignment is different from yours, the corpse gets will save to resist as if it were alive. If successful, the corpse can refuse to answer your questions or attempt to deceive you using bluff.
Okay, so failing your will save, Sigurd, you must answer correctly, though you're still allowed to be a somewhat cryptic or repetitive. Okay? So, hawking an incredible loogie into Sigurd's mouth, the Tengu raises his head and turns his attention to Kazakan, still holding the man's head.
You may ask your questions now.
What is your name? What's your favorite color? No, I'll say those. Right. Ask him of the boy, the son of the samurai, who currently goes by the name Leon.
Where is Leon Vinmark?
At first, nothing happens. And then, suddenly, a pulse goes through the corpse. It opens its cracked, dry mouth and speaks with a terrible, raspy voice.
Yul Shava Dovakin.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the northern dialect of the Draconic language.
Kazukin looks at you. And?
Yes. Well, currently, he says he doesn't know.
Kazakim's face begins to turn red and boil, and he takes a threatening step towards the Tengu.
What's the next question?
When's the last time he saw the boy?
When was the last time you saw Leon Vinmar?
Dulak nach aparadach.
He says 2 moons ago in Opera.
Kazakim's eyes narrow dangerously at the Tengu.
That's how much time he says. What is your next line of query?
Growing ever more frustrated, Kazakim asks, where is the boy most likely to be now?
Can't you just use your magic to search for him?
Kazuki clenching his fist, saying, the boy has been warded somehow. I cannot, as of yet, find the way to penetrate that particularly infuriating magic. That is why you are here. Now do your job and ask the question.
Where is Leon Vinmark most likely to be now?
Rishal Vakol Yol Shil Al-Kasti Tamu Mota.
He says he's most likely in Opara, working for an Alcaste fellow?
Kazakim's face brightens a little. Of course, Ramail Alcasti, that fool. He's employed several of the minor nobility, digging up his ancestry. Why, this very tomb, I believe, is dedicated to one of them. Quick, ask him, where is Alcasti now? The Tengu shakes his head left and right, and dropping the young man's head, hands and eyes no longer glowing blue, says,
I'm sorry. There's no more questions left today.
What?
The spell has ended.
Kazukim locks his gaze to the black, shining eyes of the Tengu, who merely tilts his head back and forth in a bird-like fashion. No matter. We will have him soon enough. Snapping his fingers, the men in black remove both bodies and the begin removing both dead men from the room. Bring that as well. Although destroyed, it may still yield some academic value, pointing at the destroyed construct. Immediately, two of the shinobi return the Tango to his bound and hooded state, and they usher him back through the portal.
We had an accord, wizard. Please keep your end of the bargain. You don't want to do anything dishonorable now, do you?
Kazakim remains behind a moment. Me? I wouldn't dream of it, my feathered friend. However, our lord is partial to the teachings of Femiyushi. Dishonor is part of his portfolio. The scene begins to draw back through the door, out through the mountains, high in the air, rotating towards not Opara, but deep within the Verdran forest, down to a campsite where a bound, gagged, and blindfolded Leon Vinmark sits, captured and at the mercy of 3 druids arguing his fate